기각시키겠다 이렇게 주장하고 있대요.
네, 걱정하지 말라고 전해주세요. 제가 요목조목 한 페이지당 모든 것을 제가 요목조목 말할 수 있다고.
They don't have to worry about it. I can explain page by page what I wrote there.
Thank you.
I can explain.
And
그러나 지금 근데 내가 지금 in my situation in the preliminary hearing에서는 내가 오직 그 네 가지만 얘기한 것 뿐이지 엄청나게 지금 많은 거를.
Since it is a preliminary hearing, I only mentioned 4 things as 4 grounds, but then I have much more to say.
of course, I understand that. And that's what the respondent's saying, that they do not want to give you the chance to do that because they say that it is so hopeless that it shouldn't get past today. All right?
그러니까 본인이 직접 히어링을 하게 되면 더 많은 것들을 이야기하고 싶다고 하는데 지금 상대방이 주장하는 요지가 논점이 본인이 주장하는 바를 쭉 문서로 해서 넘겨준 부분이 법의 눈으로 봤을 때 도저히 이해를 할 수 없고 잘못되는 데다가 그 내용이 뭔지 너무 혼란스러워서 이거는 상대를 할 수가 없다. 처리하기 곤란해서 아무런 그 히어링으로까지 가지고 갈 만한 여지가 없다. 전혀 희망이 없다. 이렇게 얘기를 하는 거래요.
네, 만약에 히어링에 많은 정보를 나한테 릴리즈할 거라고 전해주세요.
예? 못 들었어요. I think that there was some problem.
그러니까 히어링을 가진다면은 the respondent는 must release more information. 더 많은 정보를 저한테.
To be able to have a hearing for this matter, respondent should release much more information.
All right, I understand what you're saying. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I understand what you're saying.
무슨 말을 하는지는 알겠는데 동의하시지는 않는데요.
Senior member Gracie, 근데 지금 굉장히 중요한 말씀하셨다고 전해주세요.
예? Senior member Gracie, you just said something very important.
I said I don't necessarily agree with what you say, but I understand what you're saying.
무슨 말인지는 알아듣겠는데 시니어 멤버는 그렇게 생각하시지 않는데요. 최재희 씨 의견하고 다르대요.
그럼 시니어 멤버 Gracie, 저에게 기회를 달라고 해주세요. 제가 충분히 설득할 수 있을 만큼의 에버던스를 서포트할 수 있다고 전해주세요.
If senior member allows me opportunity, I can provide more evidence.
Of course, I understand that.
그건 물론 이해를 하는데요.
But today is a preliminary hearing.
오늘은 preliminary hearing이라 사생이 다 에비던스를 듣는 날이 아니에요.
To see whether or not. Just wait a second. To see whether or not this matter should go further than today.
그러니까 오늘 이 자리에서 끝났느냐, 여기서 더 어디 직접 들어보는 히어링까지 가느냐를 결정하는 자리가 오늘 이 자리예요. 히어링을 하겠다는 게 아니라 아직 결정 안 됐어요, 그건.
네, Senior Member Gracie.
Yes.
I want to ask you something.
Well, I don't want to have you ask me anything until I've finished what I want to do right now with you. So let's just
I want to ask you respondent.
Yeah, just wait, because I want to do the fourth ground yet, and then I'm going to ask you to say something.
네 번째 사유를 아직 우리 얘기 못했으니까 네 번째 사유까지 상대방 입장을 들어보고 난 다음에 할 말 있으면 하게 해주겠대요.
Yes.
All right. Now the fourth reason that the respondent says it doesn't agree with your application proceeding is because it says that you haven't given any reasonable excuse for your delay in seeking a review. And in that sense, I think they're talking about the 4 July decision.
그러니까 7월 4일 내린 결정에 대한 것 같은데 본인이 합리적인 충분한 근거를 제시하고 있지 않다. 왜 연장이 되어져야 되는가에 대해서. 근데 아마도 이건 7월 4일 내린 결정에 대한 얘기를 하는 것 같아요. 네 번째 사유에 대해서인데.
선생님.
네.
Senior member Gracie. 오케이. 저는 respondent의 딜레이, extension of time에 대해서 완전 object한다고
I completely object.
왜냐하면은
the respondents delaying their approach towards extension.
Yes. My review application is not delayed. Delayed under the real meaning, under the true meaning of the delay.
And is that
Extension of time, okay?
and let me understand, Ms. Choi, hang on, because that was in English, so I can answer that or respond to that. And are you saying that the reason there isn't delay, or it can be explained if there is because your review is of the decision of the 5th of December? Or is it the review of the 4th of July, 4th of July?
그럼 자꾸 두 가지 딜레이를 얘기하시는데 자꾸 딜레이가 있다는 거는 2019년 7월 4일 결정에 대한 거예요? 아니면 2019년 12월 5일 결정에 대한 거예요? 최저희 씨 얘기는.
오케이. 선생님 잘 들어보라고 전했어요. 아, 이게 중요한 거니까.
It is something very important what I'm about to say, so please listen carefully.
I will.
들으시겠대요. 얘기해 보세요.
오케이. 네. 제가 지금 두 번째 리뷰 애플리케이션을 12월 두 번째 애플리케이션을 제가 1월 13일, 2020년 1월 13일 날 두 번째 세컨드 리뷰 애플리케이션을 제가 NCAT에다가 제출했습니다.
I submitted my second review application to NCAT on the 13th of January this year.
Yes.
근데 저는 NCAT에 그때 무엇을 첨부를 했냐면은 리스펀던트의 2019년 12월 5일에 그 결정에 대해서 제가 첨부를 했습니다.
And to my application at the time, to NCAT, I added the decision made by the respondent on the 5th of December.
Thank you. That's what I thought.
다시 보자.
So let me ask this. I think you have 40 business days in which to seek a review of a reviewable decision.
본인이 40일 영업일로 40일 시간을 허락받았었죠. 이 재심 가능한 결정에 대해서 본인이 언급을 하라고.
Yes, correct. 만약에 내가 그때 2020년 1월 13일 날 제출을 안 하고 만약에 4월이나 5월에 제출을 했으면은 리스펀던트가 말한 나의 리뷰 애플리케이션 딜레이입니다. 말해서 이거 중요해요.
다시 말씀해 보세요. 1월 13일 날 제출하지 않고 4월이나 5월에 제출했으면
40일 갔다. 40 working days, after 40 working days에 내가 제출을 했으면은
네.
그때는 리스펀던트가 말하는 의미의 딜레이라고 말씀해 주세요.
So if I hadn't submitted my second review application like I did on the 13th of January, but instead if I handed in, say, April or May, then what the respondent is saying is true, because that's after the 40 business days, my response.
I understand this, and this is just listen, please. My understanding is this, that you say that you're within the 40-day period for a review of the 5th of December decision of Senior Member Ransom.
지금 본인이 주장하는 거는 2019년 12월 5일 날 시니어 멤버 랜선씨께서 내린 결정에 대한 그 리뷰 기간인 40일 영업일을 본인은 지켰다 그런 얘기신 거예요?
Is that correct?
그런 말씀을
no. Senior member Gracie. 오케이. 여기에는 지금 자꾸만 리스펀던트가 우리를 헷갈리게 만든다고 전해주세요.
The respondent is doing things just to confuse me.
Well, perhaps I'm confusing you, and I apologise.
없어.
I just want to know, from what you've said, I took it to mean that you said you were within the 40 days of having to make a review application of the decision of Senior Member Ransom on the 5th of December 2019. Is that correct?
아까 본인이 얘기하시는 거를 토대로 보면 12월 5일 날 시니어 멤버 랜선 씨께서 내리신 결정을 본인이 재심 신청을 한 기간이 40 영업일이었잖아요. 40 영업일 내로 본인은 했다는 주장이잖아요. 2020년 1월 3일에 본인이 재심 신청서를 냈으니까.
Senior member Gracie.
No, Ms. Choi, is that correct, or are you not seeking to rely upon that.
지금 본인이 주장하는 바가 그게 아닌 거예요? 그건지 아닌지만 말씀해 보세요.
Which is it?
No, she says.
그러니까
All right. So,
뭐였어요, 선생님?
all right. That's a no.
답이 뭔데요? 최재희 씨 답이 예스예요, 노예요? 본인이 그 12월 5일 결정에 대한 들으세요, 최재희 씨. 죄송해요. 12월 5일 시니어 멤버 랜슨 씨께서 내린 결정은 그의 재심 신청 가능 기간이 40근무일인데 본인이 그러니까 올해 1월 13일 날 재심 신청서를 넣었으니까 본인은 40근무일 이내로 했다고 주장하시는 겁니까? 아닙니까? 예습니까? 노입니까?
선생님, 나의 주장은 지금 시니어 멤버 랜섬의 디시전을 어필하는 게 아니라고 해서
The whole point is, I am not it's not an appeal about the decision made by the senior member Ranson on the 5th of December at all.
Thank you. And that's what I wanted to establish.
그걸 알고 싶어서 물어보신 거래요.
네,
So,
지금의 우리의 마이의 리뷰 애플리케이션은 그것과 다르다고 전해주세요.
So it has nothing to do with the decision made by senior member Ranson on the 5th of December.
thank you.
예, 알아들으셨대요.
So therefore, no, Ms. Choi, just listen, please.
들으세요. 이제 좀 들으세요, 최재희 씨.
So, you know, therefore, that you're outside the 40 business day period in which you have to seek a review of the decision, the reviewable decision of the 4th of July 2019. Is that right?
그런데 그렇게 되면 본인이 그 7월 4일 날 내린 결정에 대해서는 재심 신청을 할 수 있는 40일 근무일 그 시한 밖으로 돼버린 거네요. 그 시한을 놓친 거네요. 그죠?
아니, 155불에 대해서 리뷰 애플리케이션에 대한 시간을 놓친 거죠.
I missed the opportunity to file a review application for the decision made regarding the $155 payment.
I'll ask that again. Do you agree that you're outside the 40-day period, the 40 business day period, for a review of the decision of 4 July 2019?
다시 잘 들어보세요. 그럼 이게 맞는지 틀리는지 답을 해주세요. 그럼 본인이 2019년 7월 4일 내렸던 결정에 대해서 재심 신청을 할 수 있는 40일 근무일 그 기간을 놓치신 거죠.
155, about $155. There are two parts. First part is about the fee, $155. The second one is about the information, real information around about the 950 pages. 근데 지금은 second option we are talking about.
Yeah, and we're talking about the date of the decision.
결정 내린 날짜를 토대로 얘기하는 거예요. 7월 4일 내린 결정을 재심 신청할 수 있는 기간을 놓치셨냐 아니냐.
아니 선생님 그렇게 말하면 안 된다고 생각해요. 7월 4일 내린 결정은 $155에 대한 것만 about $155에 대한 것만 있고 지금 my current review application은 in the line with the schedule of the schedule in the July year 2009 decision and 5th of December year 2019 decision이라고 전해주세요.
Mr. Choi, 잠깐만 들으세요. 예, 알았어요. 통역할게요. What I'm trying to say is the decision made on the 4th of July, it was purely about the $155 payment. But my second review application, or my review application, that doesn't just cover that $155 payment, but that plus there was not enough information provided to me. So it has other portion to my application. So you can't just ask a simple question of, did I miss the 40-day business day period about the decision made on the 4th of July? We can't talk about.
Senior member Gracie, let me explain in English in my words.
Thank you.
Senior member Gracie, imagine if made 1st of July, year 2019. Then, the 5th of December, year 2009, the information is a part of, is aligned with the decision of notice of decision July, year 2019. So, I had to apply for a review application to NCAT. 아무도, none of the people can, is like cannot, because please the information 5th of December year 2019 after I paid $155. The decision made the senior member ransom was made before I paid $155. Before. 근데 this is my review application is after I pay $155. That is the difference. So, the senior member ransom, the decision is about if I agree with the respondent's decision regarding the money, $155, because already paid the application fee, $30, and the respondent, I wouldn't have to pay more than $30.
Right. Let me just say this though, Ms. Choi. The decision though, on which you were required to pay the $155, is the decision of 4 July 2019. It is not when you pay it, and it's not any other time. It is that decision from which the 40 business day period runs.
어쨌든 그 155불에 관한 한 155불을 지불을 해야 한다는 7월 4일 내린 그 결정이 본인이 돈을 언제 냈건 그런 거랑은 무관하게 어쨌든 155불 돈을 지불해야 한다는 거에 대해서 재심 신청을 하려면 40 영업일 이내에 하셨어야 한대요. 돈을 언제 냈건과 그거랑 무관하게.
그러니까는 처음에 the respondent의 decision은 about $155를 전해주세요.
The original decision made by the respondent was about the $155 payment.
So you and I are agreed. Thank you. What I want to know is this. Perhaps Ms. Lee, you can help me. Where did the reference of 950 pages come from?
I don't know, senior member. I
can assist with that if you like. Sorry to interrupt.
Thank you.
So I was at the hearing to which the senior member's ransom decision relates. It was I can't remember the exact number, but I do remember that the representative for the department on the day, without having quick reference to the exact number, made reference to the fact in context of explaining the volume of documents that it was around 900 pages. It may have been around 950 pages, can't remember the exact wording, but it was to emphasize the argument that of how many documents there were. It wasn't in relation to a particular decision or meant to be an exact number. And it was specifically in the context of, in arguments in those proceedings, just indicating the general size of the documents under review. However, I will clarify with that throughout the entire decision process, in the original notice of decision and in the internal review decision of 4 July 2019, it was clearly indicated to the applicant that there were in fact 849 pages, and that was in very detailed schedules of documents, which also indicated which documents had redactions applied to.
859 or 849?
I will double check the exact.
That's right. It's just that Ms. Choi says 849, but and I've seen the schedule.
It was 849. Apologies if I.
No, that's all right. And I see the schedule, and that's the schedule to which you're referring. The schedule to the decision.
Yes.
Thank you.
Senior member Gracie, can you please check the subpoint 12? Subpoint 12.
Subpoint 12? Could you check subpoint 12? 12?
Sub-point 12 of your submission or of what, Ms. Choi?
어디에서 point 12이요?
July notice of decision. The respondent's July notice of
Yes, I've got that.
He says yes, partial release라고 돼 있는데 일부 릴리즈한다고 돼 있는데 전혀 안 했다고 전해주세요.
It's mentioning a partial release of something, but which never happened. That's what I would like you to know.
And then the second one, there are many missing.
Para 12 doesn't say that.
information.
Subpoint 12에 그런 내용이 없다 하시는데요. 어느 페이지를 말씀하세요?
아 있는데 July notice of decision에 subpoint 12에 12 있잖아요. Emails containing the name J. Choi in either the body or subject header from 14 August year 2018 to date between Catherine Runsell lawyers and the relevant officer. The page 23 of 24, the July decision이요.
Page 23.
I've
Page
got the
23,
July decision
24 of the July the 4th decision.
of the schedule.
schedule예요?
The schedule.
Yes.
The schedule 23rd of 24 pages.
Ms. Lee, is that page 20 of 164?
That's page 23 of
23
164.
23, is it?
The notice of decision July decision.
Right. So these are all documents in relation to partial release.
Yes, the partial release인데 지금 전혀 release하지 않았고요.
Nothing was released
numerous
in that regard. I haven't received any partial.
I don't think it means a gradual release. It means part of the document will be released.
문서의 일부를 주겠다 이런 뜻이래요.
Senior member.
전혀 아무 부분도 받지 못했다는 뜻이에요? 무슨 뜻이세요?
아니 전혀 못 받았다고 했어요.
I haven't received anything, any part of it.
그러니까 respondent는 release and nothing, not release nothing. 그다음에 또 있어요.
And there are
또
more.
있어 페이지 30.
All right.
페이지 361페이지. 또 numerous 페이지
361, page 361.
All right. Ms. Choi, I have enough information to go on. Since we're not talking about you being vexatious or anything like that, I don't think the last lot of material filed today is necessary for me to have regard to. I think you said that was only if someone was to say that you were being vexatious. I think that's different to the point about the application being misconceived. I have the material which is headed to table that I first mentioned filed on the 19th of March and the material received on the 25th of February. What I propose to do is I'll take that into evidence so that I can review it after we adjourn here. And what I think I'll do is I'll hear from you once more, but I'll mark those two documents as your evidence. I don't think, Ms. Lee, there's any need for me to take on any evidence. I'll accept your submissions as they are. But in the case of Ms. Choi, I'll treat them as evidence on the application. And what I'll do is only because I think giving an extempore decision now probably isn't very convenient given your remote location by telephone. And I think it would be better and easier if this was reduced into some substantive reasons. But I'll get them out next week. I'll do it promptly. But I think it would be in everyone's interest to have this formalised in a considered decision, which I'll release next week. Ms. Choi, just stand by there for 1 second. Excuse me. I just want to explain to you, I will receive into evidence the documents you sent to NCAT, which is a series of, I think it's just the review, it's really just the review decision of 4 July together with your submissions of 3 pages. So I'll take it as one, but I will mark as Exhibit 1 the document headed Applicant Submissions together with a covering email from you to the NCAT registry dated 25 February 2020. Submissions being some 3 pages attaching the notice of decision. Oh, and some other material together with the decision of Senior Member Ransom. So that'll be Exhibit 1.
선생님 뭐라 그러세요?
Should I interpret? She's asking what's been going on.
I'm just putting into evidence your material so that it can be referred to.
본인이 보내준 자료를 나중에 언급할 수 있게 다 정리하신대요. 증거자료 1번, 2번 이런 식으로 이렇게 접수했다고 설명하고 계세요. 지금 본인이 NCAT에다가 보내줄
Senior Member Gracie, 선생님, 제가 왜 그 네 가지 이유에 대해서 얘기했잖아요. 포 브라운드를 제가 그 애플리케이션에 썼잖아요. 근데 그 요목조목 제가 20페이지에서 지금 설명할 수 있게 지금 제가 내일까지 보낼 수 있다고 전해주세요.
I
내일까지.
can submit further material of some 20 pages explaining, further explaining about the foregrounds that I mentioned in my application by tomorrow.
Let's not do that. The direction was to have it all done today, and what I've proposed to do is to put it into evidence. So I'm going to mark now as Exhibit 2.
그러실 필요 없대요. 일단 오늘까지 들어왔던 자료로 몇 번 증거자료, 몇 번 증거자료 다 지금 정리하고 계세요.
A document described as being a bundle for the preliminary hearing in this matter, which was received in the registry on the 19th of March 2020, which comprises a series of documents which you've emailed from Korea to Australia, and it contains 45 pages of material. So that'll be Exhibit 2. For now, I will simply mark for identification the material received today at 1:37 p.m. by email from you, Ms. Choi, to the registry, dealing with Orders 3 and 5 made by Senior Member McAteer, and you mentioned that that went to the possibility that the respondent might try and declare you to be a vexatious litigant or something similar. So we haven't had to rely upon it because that submission hasn't been made. So I'll mark it for identification 1. And I'll place that.
Senior Member Gracie, also about the notice of representation is very important. The respondent didn't file a copy of the notice of representation from the case conference. They're refusing. Could you please request? And then also the Senior Member McAteer ordered the respondent to file the notice of representation. However, today, two people gave the oral submission. But this one is wrong.
All right, look, I don't propose to deal with that, despite it's partly because it arrived at 1:37 today for a hearing starting at 2 p.m. So it's all a little bit too little too late for now, and I don't see it as being directly relevant to the application in respect of which this preliminary hearing is concerned. So I don't propose to deal with that. What I will do...
The senior member Gracie, this is a fundamental matter. I was going to request you, but I had no choice. I had no opportunity to express myself. But however, the NCAT policy shows, and then also the Civil and Administration, the Act 2013, and then they said the Section 72, that is the conduct of the respondent is applied. So the respondent didn't comply with the order by the senior member McAteer, Order 3 and 5. According to Order 5, the respondents must have filed without filing the notice of representation. This one is against the NCAT policy. That means today's oral submissions by the respondent must be dismissed, rejected, because they didn't file and serve the notice of representation, and the two people that gave the oral submission.
As I understand it,
That's my assertion.
all right. As I understand it, says the notice of representation for the Secretary of the Department is to be given to the Tribunal. That's all it says. Has that been done?
Yes, that occurred on the 14th of February.
There you go, Ms. Choi.
했대요. 2월 14일 날.
It doesn't say they have to give it to you.
본인한테 그걸 줘야 된다는 게 아니라 접수시켰대요. 본인이 그렇게 주장하시는 Notice of Representation 2월 14일 날 저쪽에서 했대요. 리스폰던트 측에서.
근데 제가 numerous times I requested the respondent to email me a copy of the notice of representation, but the respondent didn't email me the copy. But that is their duty.
Well, whether it's their duty or not, it's not what Ms. Choi, just wait a moment. It's not what, Ms. Choi, it's not what the order says, and even if it is their duty, what does it matter? What prejudice have you suffered by not receiving that?
그 Notice of Representation을 본인이 못 받아서 어떤 불이익을 당하셨는데요? 왜 그걸 꼭 받으셨어야 했는데요?
왜냐하면요, Miss Chu said in the Miss Chu가 the respondent to the legal representative, the Miss Chu said 950 pages in the hearing. In my the previous application hearing. 그러니까 950페이지라고 Miss Chu가 oral submission을 했다고 전해주세요. 950페이지라고.
Should I interpret what Mr. Long explained about the 950 pages and how that came about and make some notes?
Yes, I think we did, if that hasn't gone back. Ms. Choi, your interpreters very helpfully mentioned that we had, and probably my fault, forgotten or overlooked interpreting something that Mr. Long had explained in answer to a question I asked. And so I would just have her convey to you what Mr. Long said. It basically explains where the figure of 950 documents comes from, and it was explained to me how it was dealt with at the hearing before Senior Member Ransom.
아까 그 롱이라는 분이
Can you just listen? Just listen. Just, Ms. Choi. Ms. Choi.
최재희 씨,
Just
최재희 씨
listen.
들으세요. 예, 좀 들으세요. 아까 들으셨는지 영어를 다 이해를 하셨는지 모르겠는데 티모티 롱이라는 사람이 얘기했잖아요. 그 950페이지가 어떻게 된 건가에 대해서 설명한 거 내가 통역할 기회가 없었거든요. 지금 시니어 멤버가 나더러 아까 내가 노트했던 걸 최재희 씨한테 읽어드리래요. 왜 950페이지라는 거를 최재희 씨가 자꾸 그 얘기를 하시는가, 어떻게 된 건가, 950페이지 근거가 뭐냐 물어보셨을 때 그때 참석했었던 그 슈라는 분이 그 법적인 대변인이 그쪽에서 딱 950페이지 문서가 있어서 950페이지라고 한 게 아니라 이 사건 관련된 문서와의 양이 방대하다. 뭐 그게 한 줄잡아 900이나 950페이지쯤 될 텐데 이렇게 말을 한 것뿐이지 실제 페이지 수 950페이지짜리 문서가 딱 있어서 그걸 950페이지 있다고 그날은 말하고 최재희 씨한테는 849페이지만을 보내준 게 아니라 한 900 내지 950페이지쯤 되는 분량의 문서가 있다 하고 말을 한 것뿐이지 실상 950페이지 되는 문서가 있었던 건 아니래요. 그래서 본인한테 다 줄 걸 안 주고 849페이지만 보낸 게 아니라 그냥 처음에 그렇게 언급됐을 때 랜선 씨 앞에서 그냥 그런 숫자가 나왔던 것뿐이래요.
네네. 근데 however, as well as her question, I have more evidence.
Okay.
I have more evidence. Please, Senior Member Gracie, please, I beg you to give me opportunity to send the details of the evidence, because according to the information released 845 pages, the pages show there are more pages.
Right.
I have evidence.
All right, well, that's fine, but that's not what we're dealing with today. We're dealing with a preliminary point, and I think we will leave it at that.
오늘은 정식 히어링도 아니고 프리리미너리 히어링이다. 그것까지 다 자초지종을 듣는 자리는 오늘은 아니래요.
The senior member Gracie, however, this is an interim order. Interim order is very important. This is the beginning. But however, if you give me the opportunity to provide, it's very, very simple. Very, very simple. There's lots of missing pages according to the information released by the respondent.
I understand, but those missing pages, if it be the case, Ms. Choi, just listen. Ms. Choi, if there are missing pages, it isn't in relation to the question of whether this application should proceed. That is to be determined if the application does proceed. So I'm not dealing with that right now, and it won't assist me in making that actual decision, because that's really not what we're concerned with right now. We're concerned with the 4 grounds on which the respondent has submitted and which I've conveyed to you, and you said you understand as being reasons why your application should be dismissed. And that's all we're dealing with, okay?
지금 오늘 이 자리는 구구절절히 최재희 씨가 이야기하는 그런 것들을 듣고 어느 쪽의 말이 옳고 그른지를 판단해주는 자리가 아니라 단순히 최재희 씨가 리스폰던트 측을 상대로 재심 신청을 한 거에 대한 4가지 사유를 들었잖아요. 그 4가지 사유에 대한 리스폰던트 측의 답변을 듣고 거기에 대한 결정을 해주시는 자리지 오늘은 히어링하는 날이 아니라 그렇게 자세한 거 뭐 페이지가 몇 페이지부터 몇 페이지까지 빠졌네 없네 이런 거를 판단하는 자리가 아니래요.
The senior member Gracie, however, you have to make an interim order. I wish to assist you by submitting my reply because my reply was not offered. For fairness and justice, I request you to give me opportunity to file and serve my reply about the respondent to submission.
All right, well, no. I've heard what I need to hear because you have provided all the material that you said you wanted to rely upon. Some of it wasn't received in time, but that doesn't matter because it wasn't something on which you needed to rely. I've taken into evidence your 2 lots of submissions and the material contained in that. You've provided your reply to the 4 points made by Ms. Lee, and none of that requires the submission of any evidence to deal with it because I've heard what you've had to say, and now by seeking to widen the scope of this preliminary hearing to deal with compliance with the pages of material provided to you, I don't think is the point of this preliminary hearing. It's really the point of the application that you wish to progress, and the point of this preliminary hearing is whether that application should progress beyond today. That's what I'll be dealing with, and I will reserve my decision, and I will provide that to the registry sometime next week. And if I decide to dismiss it, that will be the end of it. If the matter is not dismissed, then it will proceed to a hearing on your application. All right, Ms. Choi?
이제 들을 만큼은 다 들었고 본인 최재희 씨 얘기도 들을 만큼은 들었고 자료도 2차례에 걸쳐서 최재희 씨가 제출해 준 거를 다 참고로 할 것이고 결정을 내릴 때 또 오늘 1시 37분 보내주신 자료는 본인이 맥세셔스 리티간트라고 생각을 했을 때에만 참고로 아까 하겠다고 했는데 그렇게 맥세셔스 하다고 판단을 안 하셨기 때문에 그거는 참고로 안 하시겠대요. 또 너무 늦게 보내기도 했고 2시에부터 오늘 여기 이 히어링을 시작하는데 1시 37분에 보낸 자료라 너무 늦은 것도 있고 해당이 안 되기 때문에 그거는 배제하고 또 상대방 리스폰던트 얘기도 이제 본인이 주장하는 4가지 근거로 리뷰를 해야 된다고 한 것에 대한 답변도 시니어 멤버께서 들으셨고 또 페이지 수에 관한 걸 자꾸 지지콜콜이 다 받았네 안 받았네 빠진 페이지가 있네 없전에 하시는데 그건 막상 히어링을 하게 됐을 때 논의돼야 될 그런 대상이지 오늘 이 자리는 그런 얘기를 할 필요는 없다고 보고 히어링을 해야 되느냐 말아야 되느냐 리뷰를 허락을 하느냐 마느냐 거기에 대한 답변은 오늘 이 자리에서 내려주면 참 좋겠지만 그럴 수는 없고 생각을 해봐야 되기 때문에 다음 주에 레지스트리를 통해서 답변을 해주시겠대요. 그래서 만약 시니어 멤버가 기각을 하기로 결정을 하시면 그 결정은 최종 결정이어서 더 이상 토를 할 수가 없고 만약 히어링을 하게 되면 이제 그때는 히어링을 하게 되겠죠. 그러니까 히어링을 하든 아니면 안 하게 되든 그건 최종 결정이 될 거예요. 그러니까 다음 주까지 결정을 기다려 주시면 될 것 같아요.
Senior member Gracie, can I say 2 points?
Yes?
두 가지 얘기 되냐 물어봐 주세요.
하시래요.
네, yes. The first point is my first point is 849페이지가 언제 나왔는지 리스판던트부터 나왔는지 그 생각해보라고 전해주세요. 849페이지의 인포메이션이.
그게 무슨 말씀이세요? 못 알아듣겠어요.
The respondent는 849페이지의 디시전을 849페이지 디시전을 12월 5일날 2019년 12월 5일날
네.
릴리즈했다고 전해주세요.
So the respondent released 849 page decision on the 5th of December 2019. 그래서요?
그것은 senior member ransom의 디시전 후라고 전해주세요.
So that was after the decision made by the senior member Ranson.
그것만 기억하면은 이 결정을 쉽다고 전해주세요.
As long as everybody remembers this fact, then the decision will be easy to reach.
Thank you. I understand what you're saying there.
뭐 무슨 말인지 알아들으셨대요.
Second point, senior member senior member of Gracie.
Yep.
두 번째 포인트는 뭐냐 하면은요, notice of representation은 매우 중요하다고 전해주세요, 선생님.
And the second point is notice of representation is very important.
Thank you. I understand. Is
Is
that the second point?
그게 두 번째 포인트란 말씀이시죠?
Yes. That is very fundamental 그 페이스고 그 다음에 the presence of Lee Armstrong이 그 지금 핸들할 그 내용이라고 전해주세요.
That is something that needs to be dealt with.
Thank you. I think you've made yourself very clear in terms of what you want to put. I don't think we need to hear any more. I've taken on board what you said. Thank you. I think that will do. It's now 4 o'clock. Ms. Choi, you'll be notified by the registry, hopefully next week, of my decision. As
이제는
will
더 이상
the
들을
respondent.
말씀은 없으실 거고 다음 주에 이 레지스트리로부터 답변에 대해서는 통보를 받으시게 될 거예요.
All right. Thank you.
Senior member Gracie.
Ms. Choi, that's it.
One more.
Yeah, what is it? Big quick.
뭔데요?
Serious matter.
As long as it's not something you've already said.
이미 한 얘기를 되풀이하실 거면 곤란하고 여태까지 하지 않았던 얘기가 있으면 해보시래요.
여태까지 하지 않았던 얘기요?
네. 이미 한 얘기는 다시 되풀이하지 말래요.
되풀이하지 말고 하지 않았던 얘기요?
네.
하지 않았던 얘기를 얘기하자면은 이게 선생님 생활고지라고 그러죠. Senior member Gracie.
Tell me.
경험이 있어요. 기파 메랄에 대해서 컨덕트한 경험이 많으십니까? 질문해 주세요.
Have you dealt with many cases dealing with something about some aspects about GIPA Act?
I don't know why. What do you mean, Ms. Choi?
그런 질문을 왜 하는지 이해를 못 하시겠대요.
보통 notice of decision이라는 것은 그 인포메이션하고 모든 게 다 같이 이렇게 decision 줄거리하고 그러니까 서머리하고 그 정보를 다 같이 원래 그 릴리즈하는 거라고 전해주세요. 기파에서 under the 기파 notice of decision should include the summary and the notice of decision. However, the respondent failed to relate.
All I would say, Ms. Choi, all I'd say is this, that it's unlikely I've had as much experience with GIPA matters as you. So I will leave it at that, and I think we will adjourn now. Thank you, Mr. Long. I'll hang up the call now.
Thank you, Senior Member.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Senior
Ms.
Member.
Lee. Thank you, Madam Interpreter. And goodbye, Ms. Choi. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
I have a feeling I heard this voice.